Jesus said unto his disciples, let us cross over to the other side. What is up, what is up, what is up, everyone? It's another day, another time, and another week for yours and my favorite Monday night show. And I'm not talking about Monday Night Football. I'm talking about Real Talk Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a powerful topic that we have been dealing with for a while now. And tonight we have a powerhouse up in here that I know is going to break it down to us in the best way that she can. We're talking about I Survived It, talking about none other than the author, the mother, the grandmother, Miss Takara Arthur Bet Wilson. So the next voice you will hear after a 30-second countdown will be Miss Takara. Let's go. Hello. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. We thank you so much for coming on here tonight, and we thank you for just being a part of this show. I'm looking forward to hearing your survival story, and
Absolutely.
I know that you are going to give us a great story and just basically keep it real with us on tonight. So, first question I'm gonna ask you is, I want you to tell the people a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna get into the questions that we got.
Okay, well, my name is Takara Wilson. My professional pen name is Author Vet Wilson or just Vet Wilson. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Mississippi, very small town. Um, I was raised partially here in York, Pennsylvania in the 90s. I was just kind of back and forth. And then I permanently moved here in 2013. Oh, it's so much about me. Um, I was a teen mom. My firstborn, he would have been 21 years old had he still been living. God rest his soul. I am the mother of four girls, two boys. Um, and I also have a beautiful 4-year-old glam son. His name is Amari, and he's just wonderful. I am an international and national award-winning author, publisher, professional trademark owner, copyright owner, ghostwriter. Um, thank you, ghostwriter, business advocate, business advisor. I own a nonprofit for single moms. I advocate for single moms, and you know, I'm also a domestic violence survivor myself. And right now, I am currently battling uterine cancer. So I do advocate for women who's going through that as well.
And
So, yeah.
first off, let's just start it off by saying, don't play with it, don't play with it, because like she says, she's international and national
Mm-hmm.
uh, writer, award-winning writer. Like, come on, don't play with her, y'all. And she's a ghostwriter too, so she probably done vote for some of y'all's favorite authors. Like, don't play with her. She is not to be played with. So the fact that we have somebody of your caliber on Real Talk Monday, we definitely count it a blessing. So what I want to start it off with is, when I say I survived it, what comes to mind for you?
life. Um, Not just a cliche, oh, well, I was shot at or I was stabbed or whatever. Life. I've, in my opinion, I've survived a lot at a very young age that probably would have made older women just fold. Um, like I said, I was a teen mom. I had my first son when I was 15. He was born with a rare heart defect. Because I was a minor, I couldn't stay at the Ronald McDonald House when they shipped him from Jackson, Mississippi, all the way to Chicago's Children's Hospital. Imagine being a child looking after a child, if that makes sense.
Mm.
I have to I had to sleep in the waiting room of the NICU because I didn't have my parents with me. They couldn't come because before I went into labor with my son, before I went into labor with my baby, our house caught a fire. So they was back in Mississippi trying to find a way to get our home rebuilt and everything. The father, he was very, very, very abusive. And because the baby was born with a heart defect, he wanted nothing to do with the baby. So I was by myself. Like I said, I was 15 years old. I was scared. I'm in Chicago. I don't know nothing about Chicago. Um, the social workers at the hospital, the cities, they have the best hospitals. Um,
Right.
the social workers at the hospitals, they did help me. I was able to eat free in the cafeteria. I was able to take like a mental break because they had all these activities for parents. I was the youngest, the only youngest parent. I was the only minor parent there. So all of the other parents who had sick babies, they kind of took me under their wings. They showed me what to do. They taught me what to do. Um, Long story short, he passed away when I was 16. It was 5 months. He took his last breath in my arms. Imagine being a child, burying a child. Um, like I said, abuse. His father was very abusive. I mean, just severely abusive. You would think that a teenager wouldn't go through that from another teenager, but it's true. It's not only grown-ups that go through that. Imagine having family and they're not trying to help you. They sit there and watch it, if that makes sense. They sit there and watch it and they laugh at it or they just gawk at it. Um, yeah, I gave up my entire childhood. And I'm not justifying, I'm just saying I did that. But because of what I went through at an early age with my child, I wanted to be numb. So then I turned to alcohol. Yes, I was a full blown alcoholic at the age of 17 because I didn't know how to handle that. I was a kid. Um, and then as the abuse got worse, so did my numbing needs. So I graduated from alcohol to drugs. So by the time I was the age of 19, I was drinking. I mean, drinking liquor,
Mm.
and I was putting cocaine up my nose.
Wow.
I wasn't out in the streets doing it. I would just get somebody to buy it for me, like a family member or something like that. Because I didn't,
Right.
like I said, I'm a kid. I didn't know who to go to get that stuff.
Right.
I would go in my bedroom, lock the door, hide, and just. Um, I also survived sexual abuse. Um,
Mm.
some family knew about it. Um, they did nothing. When I was 20 years old, one of my family members stood guard at my bedroom door and allowed my ex to he climbed through my bedroom window and she got a chair and she pushed the chair up to my bedroom door and she locked it and she turned my radio up so my mom or my dad wouldn't hear me scream or crying. and she let my ex climb through my window, and he had a pistol. And my babies at the time, by this time, I had 2 kids. I had a boy and a girl. My daughter was older, so she still remembers this to this day. And he sexually assaulted me in front of my daughter. And my cousin stood there. This is blood cousin. I'm talking about same grandma. Our moms and dads are sisters and brothers.
They just stood there and watched as this was going on.
She took a seat. She had a front row seat to it. And then when it was over with, they like dapped each other up, like gave each other fives. You know how you dap your friend, your homeboy, whatever up? That's what they did. And I just laid there on the floor, just shaking, like, I'm tired. I'm tired. Because since the day I was born, I've been going through stuff like that, and I was tired. What really broke my heart was my baby girl saw that. And she was so helpless, she couldn't help her mom. I told my family again, they called me a liar. My daughter told them, they called her a liar. I've been sexually assaulted like several times. I've been in multiple domestic violence relationships. It's like a cycle. It's like, and people say you should leave. No, it's not that easy, because when you're trying to fill a void, you're going to go in circles.
You go back to what you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. It's because you was used to that kind of behavior. It became to the point to where you thought that's what love was. If they don't do this, they don't really love me.
Because it was beaten into my mind every day of my life. So I was trained. My brain was trained for that. It was trained. If that makes sense.
How long? Okay, I gotta ask you. How long did it take you to get your brain untrained to learn that kind of behavior? Because I know it couldn't have been easy. Because you're talking like from the age of 13, you went through a bunch. Then bury your child at the age of 16. Then you go through being abused as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go through using drugs and alcohol as a teenager.
Yes.
How did you train your brain to like learn new coping mechanisms? Because that couldn't have been easy.
First of all, I started to write. Every time something happened, I wrote it. Then one night, I don't know what it was, and people think people make this stuff up. It's if you're spiritually connected, it will happen to you. One night, I just couldn't take it anymore. I just dropped to my knees, and I just kept rocking back and forth, and I was just like, God help me, God help me, God help me. I was screaming it. And I kid you not, like this big gush of cold wind just knocked me flat onto the floor. And I started convulsing. I woke up, it was morning, and I was still on that floor. And one of my friends came over later that day. She was like, I got some strawberry daiquiri. I got some Boone's for him. You want some? I took it and bust the bottle. And I made her leave my house. I said, please don't come back.
You ain't even have a taste for it, that boy.
Never again.
Man.
Never again.
That's the crazy thing about it. When we ask God to order our steps, we better be ready to follow the path that He's about to take us on. Because it's like, you be like, God, take this away from me. I don't even want to taste for it no more. God just sitting back like, say less. All right, watch this. You don't want to taste for this no more? Watch this. Boom. The minute you pray it, it's gone. I've learned that when I'm praying, I got to be more specific when I'm praying, because it's like, I'll be like, God, give me a sign that this is what I need to do. And God's like, okay. give me the sign, and I'm like, I didn't think it would be that sign, God. I wasn't expecting
Exactly.
that. But so let me be a little more specific next time on what I want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally learned that you cannot be the way that God is going to show up in your life. It's
Amen.
the only way that you could have made it out of all of those situations that you made it out of is by God having His hand on you. You shouldn't even. You are a living testimony right now, legit.
There's so much more, so much more. Oh my God, it's like I said, I don't even think a grown woman would have been able. And to this day, older women, I don't think they can walk in my shoes right now.
Mm. Come on,
That's my
we
opinion.
here. We here for it. We got all the time in the world. Whatever you want to talk about, we here. You
It's
said
just a
there's so
lot.
much more.
Aside from the abuse, and you know what? The drinking started when I was in junior high.
Man,
I was in seventh grade. I couldn't wait to get home out of school on a Friday. In the South, some of them stores they don't care how old you, long as you got the money. This was in the 90s, in the mid and late 90s and early 2000s.
right.
I will go get a big bottle of old English, 40 ounce.
What you know about old English, man? What you know about that?
I'm an old soul. um, but yeah, I would get like two of them, put them in the refrigerator. Cause every Friday, okay, my dad, he's work. He would be at work. He's workaholic,
Right.
family man through and through. My mom, she would be down my aunt's house somewhere. My brothers, they would be somewhere with the football team. So it would just be me at the house. Little
So
old
it's
me.
it's time to party.
Yup, a party of one. I
Hmm.
would get my mom radio system blasted, lock the doors and windows and stuff like they taught me, and just drink. But it got really bad up in my teen years.
Right.
And I started in junior high because my sexual abuse started at the age of 5.
Mm.
So it just didn't start when I was a teen. It started way before then. And the funny thing about it is, it's amazing how we remember a lot from our childhood,
Hmm.
but as adults, sometimes we can't even remember the night before, if that makes sense. And you're like, how can I remember all that? But I don't remember where my house keys at right now. But yeah,
Man.
I remember going to high school. I was a majorette. I played the trumpet in the band. I was a cheerleader. I was a track runner.
I
Um,
played trumpet in the band too when I was in high school.
really,
1 year. 1 year. After freshman year,
I
I
loved
quit.
it. I loved it. I loved it. The I left my instrument in the band hall, and our football team, half of them had gone home, so it was like 6 of them left in there.
Mhm.
Um, we all grew up in the same neighborhood, so we all knew each other. Um, went in there, went to get my instrument. One of them locked the door, and just like they rushed me. Um, these are football players, high school boys. I'm in the ninth
So there's some
grade.
big old boys. There's some big old boys.
Yeah, I'm in the ninth grade. They're 11 and 12th graders, quarterbacks, and all them. Like, oh my God. I'm standing there froze. Again, they know me. They know my parents. I know their parents. We living in the same neighborhood. And one by one, they sexually assaulted me one by one. By the time they were done, I couldn't move. I and then they threatened me. I'm scared because I already been through this as a kid anyway. So I'm just like I said, my mind was trying to just shut up. Because if you tell what they gonna say, girl, you lying. Even when the proof is there. I was found by one of the other majorettes because one of her brothers was one of the perpetrators. I didn't say nothing. She was like, "Oh my God, Takara, what happened to you? You're bleeding." I was like, "Oh, I got my monthly, but I don't feel good. Do you think your mom could take me to the hospital and then call my dad or my mom?" so they could come meet me here. So they took me. They left after my dad. My dad got off work because his job was down the street from the hospital. My dad showed up. I told him. He was, oh my God, he tore that hospital up.
I
Um,
already know.
he tore it up.
Don't mess with
Cause
daddy's little girl.
yeah, cause I'm the only girl. I was the only girl anyway. Still the only girl.
Oh no, that was even worse. That was even
Hmm.
worse. You messed
The
with the only
yep,
girl.
the only girl. And when they did the rape kit, they took the evidence. They called the police. They asked my dad if he was going to press charges. I begged him not to because here's the thing. Again, my mind is trained, but also I know this. They was going to make my life a living hell at that high school, excuse my language, because even if they
Mm-hmm.
apprehend the boys, they got friends that still go there, their girlfriends, their cousins. They will bully me there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
So you
no,
was
no,
like, I'm
no,
in a
you
no-win
know.
situation at this point.
So my dad just sent me to another high school. It was another high school in the town anyway. It was better, and yeah, yep.
So what did it feel like being a child and hearing your parents are the ones that are supposed to be the ones that's taking care of you and the ones that's supposed to be the ones watching out for you when you go to them and you being honest to them and telling them what's going on
Mhm.
and they telling you you lying. That didn't happen to you.
It wasn't
What
even
was
my
that like
father.
a feeling?
It wasn't my even my father. My dad was there for me. I grew up in a two-parent household. My father, he didn't and he do not have any outside kids, no other women, none of that. He's been
Hmm.
with us since day one.
Right.
Him and my mom was together since they were teenagers. Okay, and they got married in their 30s. Um, but when I would tell me and my mom, our relationship was just non-existent. I don't know why. I don't know what I did to her. I just didn't know what. I don't know why she resented me so. Um, one day in front of everybody, we was having a get together. One day she said something to me and it really just triggered me and I dropped to my knees and pleaded with my mom. I said, Mom, can you just love me for once? I need you. Do you know she just looked at me. She just looked at me like I was this person on the streets or something that she just didn't want to look at. Um, yeah. I never got a hug from my mom. I don't even know what that feels like. Um, so when I encounter like elderly women,
Right.
mothers that can be a mother figure to me, I cherish that and I respect them so much because I never had that. Most people, they're missing that father figure. Even if the father's in the home, they feel like, Dad, you weren't there. Well, with me, it was my mom. My father taught me about monthlies, what the women go through with their monthlies. He told me about the feminine hygiene products, all of that. When I was going through the abusive relationships, it was my father that stood up for me and helped me and protected me and put his hands on whoever put their hands on me.
Mm, that's right.
So yeah,
Can we applaud your father for stepping up and being the
thank you.
man in his princess's life and showing you, even though even though you went through what you went through, you knew what a real man was supposed to do because you had that at home.
Hmm.
So we definitely applaud your father for breaking that stereotype of what others have said about black men, where they say that
Absolutely.
black men are not in their children's lives, they
Right.
cannot be faithful to one woman.
That's
We
crazy.
applaud your father for being that man to stand 10 toes down and
Thank
be
you.
like, baby, I'ma show you everything that you need to know.
Yep.
So yeah, we definitely applaud your father for that. So my next question to you is, what lessons did you learn from this experience that you still carry with you today?
Ooh, Lord. You can't expect anybody to love you if you don't love yourself first.
Can you say that again for the ones in the back? Woo, that's good. That is
You
good.
cannot expect anybody to love you if you do not love yourself first.
Mm,
If you don't love you, why should they? If you don't cherish you, why
mm.
should they? And they can
Man,
see
that
that
was
on you.
good.
Body language and energy do not lie. They can see that on you. They definitely can. And that lesson was hard for me to learn. And sometimes I had to learn it over and over and over again. But I learned it. So yeah,
We glad that you did learn that because that's powerful. If you can't love you, why should anybody else?
absolutely.
That is powerful right there. So, was it difficult? What was more difficult, being the mother of girls or being the mother of boys? Like, what was more difficult for you, being a boy mom or a girl mom?
I love my babies to death, but being a girl mom, it is so hard. I'm gonna tell you why. However many daughters you can have one, two, three, whatever. I guarantee you, there's a part of you, both good and bad traits that you have, they're in them girls. One of my eldest daughter, oh my God, she has the trait of my mother. Every day I look at her and say, "You're my mother's daughter."
Hmm.
I kid you not. And I'm not the only one that say, like, everybody, like family members and stuff, they say it all the time. Like, you could have been her daughter because you don't act anything like Zakara. And she don't. She do not. Now, as for my other daughters, they each have a trait of mine. My second oldest daughter, her name is Miracle. My twin is what I call her because me and her look identical. Um, she's every bit of me. She's every bit of me. And I call it a curse. It's a blessing, but a curse at the same time because I don't want that for her. Because in my mind, I'm saying, girl, if you're anything like me, you trust people too easily. You think everybody is good. You help more than you should. You
Hmm.
put up with a lot. You put up with more than you should when you should speak up for yourself. I mean, I do. When I'm pushed to the limit, I explode. But and
Hmm.
she got that too. But she's very trusting, and I was, and I am still. Um, I don't judge anybody. I have to actually experience them before I label them a bad person, and that's that's a lot. Like, because usually when I don't pay attention to the red flags, even when they're waving like this, all I see are the green ones that
Hmm.
are way behind the person. I'm not looking at
Hmm.
this. I'm looking at this. So yeah.
I think sometimes we miss out on those red flags because we
Mhm.
want this to work so much, to the point to where
Absolutely.
like we are like DW off of Arthur, where there's a sign on the door saying "Do not enter," and we looking at
Hmm.
that sign like, I don't care about that sign. I'm still going in there.
Right.
So I definitely agree with you on that. I think all of us have that moment in us where we get stubborn and we want what we want when we want it,
Hmm.
even at the detriment to our own selves sometimes.
Right.
So my next question for you is, what advice would you give someone that is facing some of the same challenges that you have faced today? Like, what advice would you give somebody that's dealing with those traumas?
Never, ever put your faith, your trust in the hands of mankind. And I'm not just talking about men, I'm talking about women, men, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
including your worries and everything needs to be placed into God. You can't I don't want to say worship mankind, but you can't have high hopes and faith in mankind and then turn around and say, well, I know God's gonna work it out for me. Well, if you know that, why is you waiting
Why
around on
you
this
there?
person or that person to answer your prayer? They can't answer your prayers.
They ain't Jesus.
Right. So just you gotta stay prayed up. I don't care. You don't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. You don't.
Mm-mm. Where we
You
mess
don't.
up sometimes is we forget that the building is not the church.
Amen.
We are the church.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that during the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
where even though I'm a preacher and even though I've been
Mm-hmm.
preaching for so many years, I've I really love my online side of my ministry more because I can reach more with the online medium than I can ever reach inside of a four
Mm-hmm.
walls of a building. No, don't get me wrong. I
Absolutely.
love being around my brothers and sisters in Christ. I love that. But on the other hand, I understand that, like, you know what, everything has a purpose. And this is my purpose for this.
Absolutely.
So how would how did your beliefs in God play a part in your healing process? Like once you finally let go of everything and you totally surrendered to God, what was that moment like for you? I know you told
When
me
I
that moment where you was
yeah,
down on the ground and it felt like a mighty rushing wind. What did
yeah,
that moment feel like?
I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. Honestly, I thought some kind of ghost or something. I never felt that.
Mhm.
So after that happened, every thought that came to my mind, it was like wisdom. If somebody's going through something, I would sit them down and just talk to them. To me, as I'm speaking, I'm not preaching. It don't sound like preaching to me. But to them, girl, why are you preaching to me? You ain't no saint. No, I'm not a saint, but I'm not a hypocrite either. So it was just everything was just clear. I knew what to say. I knew what to do. I knew not to worry about anything anymore. It was just I can't explain it. And that's not the first
Mhm.
time that happened to me. The second time it happened to me was more of not recent, but in this day and age. I was um, going through a lot with family, trying to move to a better environment for my babies and me. And I just couldn't take it no more. I went into the bathroom of the house I used to stay in. I did the same thing, but this time I was just sitting like I was sitting on the side of the tub or standing up I forgot what I was doing, but I was in there. I locked the bathroom door so nobody would walk in. And I was crying. I was crying and I was crying. And I was like, God, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Please help me. And then and then all of a sudden it felt like someone or something with big arms or whatever just grabbed me and hugged me so tight. And when that happened, this time instead of cold, it was warmth. It was like a warming, calming, peaceful feeling. And while I was being hugged, I was crying hysterically.
Mm.
Hysterically. And the hairs on my arms was like standing up and stuff. And I can't explain it. But once that hug was over, the next day, the house
You
that I had
felt
been stressing
better.
about, we got approved for that house. This is the house that we're in now. Beautiful house. Beautiful. Um when my grandson was born, he was sick. So I was worried about that too. The next day, nurse calling us, oh, he's ready to be discharged. What? But he just wasn't doing so good. Um, my business took off like this. This is in like the day, the rotation of each day rolling in after that event happened. So when something like that happens to me, or when it happens to other people, and people try to tell you, no, it didn't, no, it didn't, you will not never understand until you feel it.
That
It is
joy.
a such thing as the power of God in the hand of God touching you. Trust me.
Mhm. If you
So
don't
yeah.
know, you're gonna find out.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's no
Yep.
better feeling than knowing that God's hand is on you
Oh, it's
and on your
amazing. It's
life.
scary, but
It's scary, but then again, it gives you a peace because you
absolutely.
know that, you know what, I'm not fighting this battle by myself. I'm not dealing with this by myself. God's
Mm-hmm.
got my back. So it's
Yes,
like
indeed.
it gives you that peace that passes all understanding. So the next question that we have for you: what moments or memories from that experience? One of those, any of those experiences that you told me, what moments or memories stand out with you the most?
Um, you know what? And this is something that I didn't even mention. Um, there was this old lady, and I had my this before my son passed away. I was taking him to the doctors. Um, I passed by this house going to the doctors. Let me tell you something. This was an abandoned house, boarded up. I come back through the same way, pass by the same house. There's an elderly lady standing on the porch of the house.
Come on.
I'm serious. She is a black elderly lady, um, grayish silver looking hair, um, little dress like one of those old time grandma dresses, uh, like a house coat.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm just walking, holding my son, and she was like, baby, don't worry, that baby's gonna be fine. You gonna have
Mm.
peace soon, and that baby is not gonna be suffering anymore. To me, I'm looking at this lady like, you know what
Who
I'm
are
saying?
you?
Like, right, I got my baby, like, what? Like, what do you mean? Is he gonna get better? I didn't say nothing to her. I just kept walking. I stopped and turned around. That lady was gone. That lady was gone. And that scared me too. Like I said, a lot of things, yeah.
And that was God letting you know that everything was going to be okay.
Yep. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, okay, my son gonna get better. I'm not gonna be stressed out no more. That's not what that was. When that lady said that I was gonna have peace and he was gonna have peace, his peace was gonna be, he's gonna go
On
back
the other side
to the arm. Yeah. But see, I didn't know that. Like you said, the signs that we want are not always the signs that we get,
of
if that
like,
makes sense.
yeah,
So
that
yeah,
makes
that
total
stands out
sense.
to me.
That makes total sense to me because a lot of times when people, we pray to God and we're like,
Hmm.
God, I want you to heal this family member or this friend. God, I want you to heal them, heal them, heal them. And
Yes.
then God heals them, but
Hmm.
it's not in the way that we think that it ought to be done. We got to
Absolutely.
realize that healing happens one or two ways, either
Hmm.
on this side, or if they are have a relationship with God, it happens on the other side too. So
Right.
it's like one of those two things. They're not going to be suffering no more here, or they're not going to be suffering no more for all eternity up in heaven.
Right.
So now we about to have a little fun. We Anybody that knows me, my sisters say that I am the king of the scenarios.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you a scenario,
Okay.
and we're gonna have a little bit of fun, and then after we do that, we're gonna have what is called a will talk moment. Which what that is I'm gonna give you a moment on the screen, and I want you to encourage the people with something. Tell them some way that somebody that may be out there right now that may be going through some of the same things that you went through. I want you to encourage them and let them know that there is joy after this, and let them know where they can find you, even though this is not going to be the last time they see you. So,
Okay.
first off, let's start it off with the scenario. So, the scenario that I have for you is you are at home and you notice, you look in your purse and you notice that about $300 is missing out of your purse.
Mhm.
Every last one of your kids are saying the same thing. Mama, we did not do it. Mama, we did not do it.
Mhm.
How are you going to go about getting the truth out of the one that actually did it?
Oh, that's easy. I'm going to order an Amazon package or from Shein. I'm going to address it to the one who I know for a fact didn't get it. And then that way, the one who really did, they're going to be jealous. They're going to slick say stuff that give them away because I know them to a T. Um, and I've done this before. So, yeah.
So this ain't nothing new to you. You ain't new to this. You true to this. You like, oh no, no, that's easy. See, all right. So your next time you come on Real Talk Monday, I gotta come up with a better scenario for you because that was too easy for you. You like, oh please, that's easy work for me. All right. So we're gonna have what is called a Real Talk moment. Like I said, I want you to encourage somebody and let them know that there is joy after this. Let them know where they can find you at, and maybe any events that you have going on. Let them know about that too. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the spotlight and I'm gonna give you the floor. It's all
Okay.
you.
Hey. So, Carl Arthur Vet Wilson here. All right. First, I want to say thank you all for tuning in. I just want to spread some love and everything to you all. I don't know you, I don't know who you are, but somebody that's watching or tuning in is going through a lot right now. You're going through a lot with your kids, you're going through a lot with your finances, you're tired, you're going through a lot with family and friends, you're tired. That's okay, sis, bro. Be tired. You're supposed to be tired when you're doing the right thing. Keep going. Let me tell you something. Everything that we go through is not in vain. Everything is a test. Everything. It's a test. Did you hear what I said? It's a test. Now, it's up to you how you approach that test. It's up to you if you pass it or not. If you don't pass it, you're going to keep learning the same lesson over and over and over and over and over again. So you said that you're tired of praying, huh? Me too. Me too. But I still do. You want to know why? Because as long as you have faith and you pray, your situation is going to be turned around. No, I'm not here to preach, but I'm a living testimony right now. Your prayers are already being answered, but it's not going to happen the next day. You're going to have to go through some obstacles before you can get that award. If God feel like you're not mentally and spiritually ready for the blessing that you're praying for, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. Don't give up. Keep going. The doors are already open for you. You're just not ready to walk through them yet, sis, bro, whomever. Keep going. You got this. Now, you can find me, you can follow me, you can support me, and I support back. I'm a huge supporter. If you have a business or anything and you need my support, hey, I'm here on Facebook. My main page is Author Vet Wilson. And then I have my business page on Facebook, which is Boss Ed Behavior Presents. If you want to tell your story or have your story written for you, I'm a trademark professional ghostwriter. I have 43 novels out that's published. I'm revamping some of them. Um, I'm an author, of course, business advocate. Um, I can help you. If you just need a listening ear without worrying about the world hearing it or it being used against you as an emotional weapon, I'm all ears. I don't mind taking that load off of you. I know sometimes we have a tendency to bleed on other people, but then sometimes you just need a listening ear. I won't judge you. Who am I to judge? I'm also on Instagram at author underscore vet underscore Wilson, and I'm on TikTok at boss at vet. Look me up, follow me, support. I support back.
Yo, once again, we thank you so much for coming on here tonight. Y'all, she will be back. I promise y'all, she's coming back. She is a part of the Will Talk Monday family now. Once you come on one time, you are you are a guest, but after one time, you family. You come in as a guest, but you leave as family. And We'll Talk Monday. I want y'all to go over there and support her like crazy. To my fam, I want y'all to do that. We thank you for coming on here, Miss Vet. We thank you so much, and we appreciate it. I appreciate you all tuning in tonight. I love y'all for tuning in tonight. As I always say as we close out, sometimes our disappointments are nothing more than God's appointments. Meaning some things that we look at as bad, God is only turning it around for our good. Stay blessed, be blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. I'll see y'all later. Peace.